Hello, 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 and welcome back to Rudy Radio. And this is Keith Simon with Keith Financial Fix. If you didn't hear me the first time, this is Rudy Radio. This is Keith Simon with Keith Financial Fix. Today we have an interesting topic for you guys. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there who want to see change. But some changes, as they say, change don't come easy, right? So we're going to talk about change when it comes to money. How do you take care of your money? First of all, you want money. You want money by working, right? By earning it, by working, exchanging your time for money. We talk about that. But how about exchanging your self for money? How do you exchange self for money? You exchange quality. You exchange solution. You exchange things like, no one else is going to do this better than me, quote unquote. So if your mindset is no one else is going to do this better than me, then now you become what we call marketable. But really and truly, is it marketable, or you have just made a change? So once you get into that mind frame, doesn't matter who you are. I'll give you a quick story. It's not my story to tell, but I think that it's so profound. So I won't give you names. But there's a gentleman that I know who now runs one of the prominent organizations in this country, financial institution. He started as a janitor. And how it happened, he had no idea about how money worked. He didn't care how money worked. And I'm going to tell you a lot of these little stories as we go along, right? This gentleman one day was just making the floor squeaky clean in this big old building. I'll give you a hint, in San Francisco, right? And with that big old building, he was able to take care of it to the point where the CEOs and CFOs and so on were super impressed. So they literally said to him one day, one gentleman said to him one day, wow, I am impressed. And he said, no, that's okay. Don't be impressed. This is what I do. When I come in, I see that the floors need to be mopped, so I mop them. I see that the elevator needs to be wiped down, so I wipe it down. I see the counter and the front desk needs to be wiped down, in spite of having a secretary and everyone else that's supposed to really and truly do it, right? You take care of your area, but they don't, so I do it. By the time they come in, everything is squeaky clean. And the gentleman said to him, why? You don't get paid that much. He said, well, you know what? If I put out the energy and I put out the understanding that when I get to work, this is what I do, and I have to bring with me a resolution. The resolution is cleanliness. He says, when I turn around and I put my hand in my pocket or check my bank account in this case, and I see $1, I know it was $1 earned. And when I look around and start spending that dollar, I realize also that it's $1 earned. How do you take care of your money in this environment, or in any environment for that matter? How you take care of your money all depends on one fundamental thing. How much do you value your self-worth? How much do you value the service that you have to put your energy in to use to take care of that floor? In the case of this janitor gentleman. The moral of the story, guys, is that this gentleman started getting noticed, and he moved up in that very company to now become one of the marketing gurus in this company. And remember, I do business with over 120, 30 different companies, so I would not let the cat out the bag and let you know which company it is, but I've had the pleasure of not just meeting him, but having conversations with him several times as to how he got to where he got to. And you know what his prominent response to me is every single time? I came to understand that I need to value my time because my time is value for me. If I value my time and the energy that I put in, I will then value the result, which is an income. And I say, wow. He further went on to say, Keith, one of the major purpose in life is very simple. Be the change you want to see in the world. So some of you guys know my story. Social worker, doing social work for several years, 10 plus years, right? I won't give it away. 10 plus years. And that's exactly what I wanted to do, is to be the change that I see in the world. How can you unless you find something that you believe in? A lot of us cannot find something that we believe in except for ourselves. So if you believe in you, if you understand that you have value, then use that value to do what you do, no matter what job it is, no matter what situation you're in. Then use that value to gain that outcome. That outcome, most often, 99.9% of the time, becomes financial. Remember, I said money is not everything, but it's right up there with oxygen. So aside from financial outcome, what other outcomes are there? Gratification, right? But gratification is internal. Can you give gratitude? Big question. Do you give gratitude or you have gratitude? You have gratitude and you share the reasons for your gratitude, right? But imagine if you can exchange that gratitude with some financial backing. Just by taking care of your money. That's essentially what happens with this gentleman. He became financially free by just doing what he loves to do best, cleaning. And you know what he does now at his position? Clean. He makes sure that every document that goes out of the office when it comes to financial services is clean, clear, where us as consumers can understand. Very powerful stuff. Very powerful stuff. The other thing that he does is he says, what happens if I remain the janitor all my life? Would my family have proper protection in the form of life insurance? Would my family have proper protection so that they can take care of their family down the road if I'm no longer around? So very powerful stuff, right? Very powerful stuff. And all he says and all he lives by is nothing more, nothing less than what and how you take care of your money. What are you doing to take care of your money? I'll give you another story. I like telling stories because stories are true, right? And even if they're not, there's significant lessons learned. So guys, how do you take care of your money? How do you take care of your money? Well, first, you have to find out and realize in all those circumstances, if you don't have it and you're going to get it, you're going to work for it, look back at your ancestors, look back at your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, look across the street at your neighbors, look at your aunts, your uncles, right? What are they doing with their money? Most often they're doing what 90% of America is doing with their money. Spending it. We have to spend, but spend wisely. We have to spend, but keep. And then spend. Take care of everything you need to take care of and then spend. Including, we talk about this, which I'm very, 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 very profound when I say pay yourself first. It's the number one fundamental thing that people do not do in this country. 90% of us want to pay all the bills. We got some money. Oh my goodness. Hey, I just got my bonus from work, so I'm going to pay up my bills. Is that a bad thing? No, but you created those bills. So if your thought process would just shift a little bit, you would realize that the money that you got from your job, you earned it, and take care of it because it's your value. It's not just your energy. It's not just your muscles. It's your value. Be the change you want to see in the world by taking care of your money. Hey guys, I'm super excited. I'm trying to do this. I tell you, when I look at this topic and I really thought about the things that I've learned over the years, I start hearing my ancestors. I start hearing grandma saying, hey, remember, don't forget, you make $1, save a penny. And I start remembering my dad saying the same thing, right? Hey, I don't care what you do, but make sure you pay your life insurance. I don't care what you do, but make sure you pay your life insurance. I used to think that was a joke. Confession, right? But guys, guess what? It was $22 a month. Be the change you want to see in the world. We'll be right back. You're listening to Rude Radio. This is Keith Simon with Keith Financial Fix. We'll be right back.
You love chocolate.
Chocolate.
You love M&Ms.
Oh, yes.
But your tastes have grown up, and you're just not wild about super sweet milk chocolate, so you've been avoiding M&Ms.
Yeah.
Well, fear no more.
Huh?
M&M's Dark Chocolate to the rescue.
My heroes.
M&M's Dark Chocolate Candies. Available wherever fine candies are sold.
Hello again. Welcome back. You're listening to Rude Radio. Rudy Radio. This is Keith Financial Fix. Don't forget, you're listening to the one and only Keith Simon with Keith Financial Fix on Rudy Radio. We're talking about being the change that you want to see in the world. And I'm hesitant to say this network is the change that you want to see in the world. How do you take care of your money? Is that a difficult question? Sometimes I ask. I ask myself this question every single day. You see, the more you make is the higher standard of living we're told that we can live. Right? Because our credit score will go up 800, 850. Hey, you can get anything you want. You're making 80, 90, 100,000. But think about something. Like the gentleman that I mentioned in the example, what is your self-worth? Are you getting paid what you're truly worth? Or do you need to take what you get paid with and create and understand your worth? Something that appeared to me last evening. And I say to myself, self, which I often do, interestingly enough. I said, self, why does the Waltons continuously, generation after generation after generation, has wealth in this country? The Rockefellers, the Hiltons, the Chases. I said, why are they so different? And now comes, of course, the Johnson, right? Why are they so different? I remember a famous rapper, he's still alive and still around today, Puff Daddy Combs, as we call him, Sean, said in one of his songs, and it still resonates with me today. You know, he says the Joneses want to be like the Combses. That's profound. What he's really saying there, in my opinion anyway, he's really saying that he's going to leave that legacy just like a Chase, just like a Walton, right? Just like a Hilton. That's what, in my opinion, he's really saying. I am going to leave a legacy just like a Simon. And you better believe the gentleman that I know that takes total care of this network, Rudy Radio, he is going to leave a legacy as well. But we all can, if we understand the value that we carry as human beings, period. So that lesson that I learned from this gentleman started really resonated with me to the point where I see it now with everyone or almost everyone that has left a legacy in their life. Continual wealth, continual treasures. So there's another gentleman that I met a couple of years ago, and that gentleman says he got into finances because of his father. He said, my father was a prominent doctor. And what did he do? He went to work. Go take care of his surgeon. Go take care of his clients, his patients, and come home. Go to work, take care of his patients, and come home. Does he have value? Great value. What makes a doctor value more valuable than a janitor? Is it the amount of money that he makes, what he gets paid? Is it the plaque on the wall that says doctor? Is it the college degree on the wall that says Princeton, Harvard, Yale? It's a great question, in my opinion. So this came to me again last evening as I'm preparing for you guys. And I wanted to really ask these couple of questions. You see, every question does not need an answer. The answer is you. You're valuable. You personally are valuable. So let people know that you're valuable and make that change that you want to see in the world. How is that possible? Unfortunately, it takes money. Does it take your money personally? Maybe not. But it takes us to put ourselves in a position where we can be financially independent and allow people that are financially independent to help us to get to that, to make that change. There's a gentleman, I won't give his name, but there's a gentleman that's doing such thing right now when it comes to feeding the hungry. There's another gentleman that's doing such thing when it comes to water, giving water across the world. And you'll hear these folks. I won't give it away, but you'll hear about them really, really soon. You'll hear about them. And all they wanted to do is just make the change that they see in the world. Make the change that you want. So if things around you are changing and you feel like they're not changing for the better and you're not going anywhere, you say, hey, this is my neighborhood, I'm not going anywhere, make the change. Sometimes it may be something as simple as one of my good friends, believe it or not, across the street from me, he gets up every morning and he cleans the sidewalk, he cleans the street, he cleans both sides of the street, and pick up anything, any piece of paper or whatever that's left around. And every single time that I see him, I commend him. Because I remember when my street was not looking too great, And guess who did not get up and go out and clean it? Me. Now I'm glorifying in the cleanliness of it. Does this gentleman have value? Retired army guy, right? Sometimes he has to use his oxygen tank and walk down the street to clean it. And you can see him with his little oxygen pack. Yes. And all he wants to do is to let people know that he is valuable. We all want to be known as being valued. However, what do we value? Do we value us? Do we value ourselves? So, this gentleman that I mentioned, father is a prominent doctor, right? I'm going to get back to that. Father is a prominent doctor, and he says, my dad is dead broke. Unfortunately, dad turned 65, has no retirement plan. Dad turned 65, had no income except for Social Security. Dad turned 65, still driving the same car, right? And he said, wait a minute, Dad, what have you been doing with your money? Something that our parents sometimes ask us. Hey, son, what have you been doing with your money? $50,000, $60,000 a year, coming straight out of a prominent college. What have you been doing with your money? And our response is often, I don't know. Well, you're wearing it. You're wearing it. Stay tuned, guys. We will be right back.
Years ago, the family doctor was someone who came to your home. And while that practice has faded into memory, there is someone who keeps the tradition of personal health care alive. Your local Health Mart pharmacist knows you by name, not by refill number. Stop by your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy and see how the tradition of personal health care lives on. Visit healthmart.com for the location near you. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
This is what your business sounds like without Audible Reach. This is what your business sounds like with Audible Reach. Audible Reach sounds like you mean business.
Hey, welcome back again. You're listening to Keith Simon, Keith Financial Fix, and you're listening to, of course, Rudy Radio. So this is Rudy Radio with Keith Simon and Keith Financial Fix. So we were talking about this gentleman whose father is a doctor and pretty much just retired without anything of substance that he can live on. So he's now living on the income of his son. Interestingly enough, his son was also not doing that well. So what his son decided to do was go and learn finance. When he started learning finance, he realized that there was nothing in finance that says how money works. Everything was spending. Everything was budgeting. How are you budgeting what you don't have? You're budgeting what the company brings in, not you as an individual. So he said, I need to learn personal finance. How do I learn personal finance? And someone said to him, you have to know financial foundation. So who is that someone? That someone just happened to be one of his friends, one of his father's friends, who is actually into finance. You see, of course, his father is a doctor. He does not know anything about finance, nor do he want to. How many of us out there say, leave me alone. I just want to go to work. You take care of the bills, honey. And honey, unfortunately, don't know how to take care of the bills either. So what does he or she do? How many times we hear, you're better with money than me. Or you hold the credit cards. Or you hold the money. Stop me from spending. Tell me it's too much when we get into the store. We want to stop at $200. You have $500 worth of products in the cart. Why didn't you tell me we were at $200? Right? But neither of us know exactly how to take care of money. So here you have now, the young man says to this gentleman, hey, you know what? I really need to understand this. And he says, do you know there's something called a financial foundation? And he said, no. What is that? He said, the financial foundation is a concept that starts with something called proper protection. It's like stepladder. It's like a stepladder to your financial freedom. First, you have to have proper protection. Then you have to manage your debt. Then you have to create an emergency fund. And of course, last but not least, you have to invest. So he said, oh, wow. How many of those things have my dad done? And the gentleman says to him, do your dad have life insurance? He said, yes. He said, awesome. So if he passed away too soon, he's protected, and he's protecting his family, and he's protecting his home as well. So you guys won't be out of a home while the mortgage needs to be paid. His income would still live on for a little while longer. And he says, wow, that's what that is about, life insurance is about? And he says, yes. And then he said, okay, you know what? What's the next step? He says, debt management. He said, does your dad have debt? He said, no, that's one thing. He don't have any debt. All his money went to pay off his debt. $250,000 medical bills and medical college and all of that good stuff paid off. Then he said, oh, does he have an emergency fund? No. Does he have investment? He says, yeah, he paid someone to look at his portfolio when he started first, and he had some extra income, so he put money in a couple of bucks in Goldman Sachs and so on, maybe about 30,000 or so that he plays with the market bouncing up and down. He says, how much is in there now? He said, I asked him the other day and he had no idea. So he does not learn from his personal finance? No. He does not know how the market works? No. He does not know that he needs an emergency fund? No. But he knows that he needs to make sure that he's debt-free. So the gentleman says, wow, we have work to do. So guys, we have work to do. Be the change you want to see in the world. And this is why I'm here. Because I realize that unfortunately, we do not have the financial knowledge to take care of ourselves and our family. And the ones that we love also dear. And we have such an important response when it comes to others. Like a doctor, your value is it's so prominent. It's so high. But is it really valuable to you once you make that income? You see, a lot of people say, oh, I'm a doctor. I don't do it for the money. I'm a social worker. I don't do it for the money. I'm a nurse. I don't do it for the money. We're in the quote-unquote helping profession. Who's helping you? You have to help yourself. So it's not just about finance. It's not just about making sure that the Band-Aid is on someone and taking care of their wound. It's not just about surgery and taking care of that person. When it comes to the need, it's absolutely necessary. But guess what, guys? What happens if that person then comes out the hospital and cannot pay that hospital bill? If I had heart surgery and I was totally stressed, and the hospital bill, when I'm finished and I'm in recovery and I'm doing fantastic, and I'm getting ready to walk down the street, and I walk to my mailbox and the hospital bill says $150,000. I may, don't want to sound coy, I may turn around and have a heart condition again. I may turn around and have another episode. Ergo, another heart attack possibly. Are we prepared? That allowed that gentleman today to write 4 or 5 books on life insurance and retirement planning. I won't give the name away, but for some of us who are financially savvy and who have been looking forward to see the retirement and so on, I believe he may have wrote the most books on retirement. He's still alive today, this gentleman. Still lecturing, still writing, still talking to people about his story. So guys, I tell you, it is very, very, very important to know your value. By knowing your value, you can be that change. You don't have to wait for anyone. Be the change you want to see in the world. So let's wrap this up. How do you become the change you want to see in the world? You become financially knowledgeable so that you can value your income, so that you can know and understand how money works. Like my first example, the gentleman says, I just want to make sure that my value has a dollar sign behind it. But more importantly, I want to make sure that the dollar sign has my value behind it. You see, it's not about how much you make, it's how much you keep. So he knows that whatever I value, my value, I get compensated for it. And let's face it, there's some janitors that are out there, yes, with the title janitor, that makes over $100,000+ a year. Absolutely. With that title. What they have done, they have mastered their craft. Therefore, they have mastered their value. This gentleman that I mentioned in the second example did the same thing. He left what he was doing and went in and dived into financial services. He says, my dad is a perfect example of what I am not going to be. Did that have anything to do with money? Not directly. His dad was doing fine. But indirectly, his dad was never going to leave a legacy for him. And he is not going to be a doctor. The doctor is not the legacy. I'm a doctor, therefore my son is a doctor, therefore my son and my great son and grandson is a doctor. How do we know that that's going to happen? I'm a basketball player, superstar, right? I'm Michael Jordan, so my son has to be Michael Jordan Jr. and go and do the same thing as I did, or maybe even more. I'm Tiger Woods, my son has to do better than myself or just equal. Hey guys, I think this is an awesome topic. I think this is really, really awesome. So, remember, if you're looking for me, you're listening to Rudy Radio with Keith Simon, Keith Financial Fix. Please, please, please log on and check me out on Instagram at Keith Financial Fix. You can find me on the internet. You can also email me, ksimoninT@gmail.com. That is ksimoninT@gmail.com. It's the quickest and fastest way to get me. But you can also call me. If you have a quick question, you can also call me, and I will definitely reach back out to you. My number, 404-285-1429, 404-285-1429. Hey, guys, I will see you next time.